Okay, so for these short interviews, one of the things that I'm trying to do is sort of get an idea of who each participant is, where they're coming from musically, and that sort of thing. So I think the best way to start this off is if you want to introduce yourself and just give a bit of background about what it is you do as an artist.
Yeah, so my name is Kozi. I go by the artist name Koziithegoat. So yeah, I've just been doing hip hop music for a while now. Started off back in grade seven with my friends, in high school. Got a little group going there at that time, and then yeah, I just kept going on with it. I've been in Winnipeg for like 5 years now, and yeah, I've been putting out different songs and projects like since I've been here. So I dropped an LP last year of about 11 songs. I had an EP of 4 songs in 2020. And yeah, that's just what I'm doing right now, putting out as much music as I can in the past. And right now, just working on new music to put out for the next year.
What is you mentioned just now that you've been here for about 5 years. What is sort of your um take on the local music scene, especially for hip hop? What has your experience been as a hip hop artist in Winnipeg?
There's definitely a wide range of hip hop artists here. Like I see a community going on here. I wouldn't say it's as connected as it could be,
Okay.
but we're definitely getting somewhere. It's not too hard to reach out to different people and collaborate. So I do like what's going on here. Like we have a bunch of people that are serious with what they're doing, and that's very encouraging for the scene.
Where would you say you fit in as far as what your specific sound is? Because I know hip hop is such an umbrella genre where there's so many different offshoots and different styles people are working with. How would you sort of define your specific sound?
So my specific sound, like it has its roots in hip hop, of course, and I do try to incorporate some melodies in there as well, to get that sort of feeling that connects with the audience. And I pay a lot of attention to my lyrics as well because I believe that's the most important part of the sound. So making sure that my lyrics are as deep as possible and connect to to the audience in a way that they can relate to. That's the most important thing for me, and also just putting my experiences in there to enlighten people as well.
So you want to have that kind of personal, genuine being yourself in the records.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think that it's interesting you mentioned lyrics because I agree that's the appeal of hip hop to me is for sure is the lyricism. But do you feel like a lot of people are maybe not focusing on that aspect of it as much as they used to? I mean, if you listen back 20, even 30 years, lyrics is kind of like the main aspect of why people are listening to rap music. And now it seems like it's changed a bit. There's definitely people out there who are doing things like that where lyrics are at the forefront, but there's also seems to be a trend toward sort of almost minimalist hip hop where the lyrics are kind of almost an afterthought and it's more about like the feel of the songs.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, I feel like hip hop is definitely more watered down now than it used to be decades ago when it started. So that's one thing. That's why I heavily focus on it because I believe that would allow me to stand out and just like take it back to the roots.
Yeah, yeah. With this future music event, what does having an opportunity like this mean to you? I mean, hopefully you're going to get exposed to maybe a different audience that hasn't heard you before. What are you hoping to get out of this event?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Big shout out to Ezo Man and everyone in the creative side entertainment team bringing it on. So yeah, I just love to put out my music to as many people as possible, and I'm glad to have this platform to do that. Also, network with the other artists that are there. So yeah, it's a great opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to it.
What do you have? I know you mentioned right off the top that you have a lot of music out already. You're kind of working on constantly putting out new music as often as you can. Do you have anything in the next few weeks or months that's going to be coming out that people should look for?
Yeah, I'll definitely say look at towards the end of the year. I don't have any specific date for that yet, but definitely towards the end of the year slash beginning of next year, I'm working on new music to start putting out. I don't like to rush my process, so I'm really taking my time to put out stuff that I do heavily resonate with. So yeah, very soon, new music coming.
Cool, cool. And then if someone is hearing about you for the first time on this podcast, what's the best way for them to find out more about what you're doing, where they can hear your music and find out about upcoming events, things like that?
Yeah, for sure. You can find me on every social media platform at Koziithegoat. That's Kozii the Goat. And also Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. All of my music is out there. Kozi the Goat. And yeah, we can connect.
Awesome. Want to maybe introduce yourself and give a bit of background about what it is you do as an artist?
Yo, my name is Nova. Part of Nova Soul. Me and my brother, we have a group together that's Nova Soul. Otherwise, I'm just solo on Nova. I've been putting in work in music since I was about like 17, 18. So I've been going for about like 11, 12 years here. I've been all over the globe, just doing music, opening up for artists, doing little shows here and there. And I just love making music, so that's what I'm about, you know.
Cool, cool. And so, I mean, one of the things that sort of comes up a lot when I'm doing these interviews for these shows is that hip hop is such an umbrella genre now. There's so many offshoots and subgenres and different styles. Where would you sort of fit yourself within sort of the overall spectrum of what rap is, what hip hop is?
To be honest, like me and my brother, we do everything. So we go from R&B, jazz to hip hop and hardcore rap. Like I do a lot of trap shit. I do a lot of. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse,
No, it's
but
okay.
I do
Go
a
for
lot
it.
of. Okay, I do a lot of trap shit. I do a lot of soul music. Like I write all my brother's R&B verses. I do a lot of writing. Like I do most of the writing for us when it comes to music, and I don't feel like I fit into a genre because I also write other music like country, rock, punk rock, shit like that.
Is that just kind of that wide range of different styles? Is that sort of what you grew up listening to? All of those different
Uh,
genres?
yeah, like growing up in the city, I mostly listened to hip hop, but then like around 12 years old, I moved out to the country to Gimli, where a lot of my friends introduced me to like punk rock and country and shit like that. So when I started writing music, I just kind of wanted to emulate like a genre that there was no genre for, you know what I mean? Like that all music just comes together.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? What is it like? What was it like being into hip hop in Gimli? Because I mean, it's a very small community anyway, and I can't imagine that that's one of the main genres of music that's popular out there. What was your experience like, being a kid who was into that stuff in that community?
It was pretty all right. Like a lot of my homies out there, they were into hip hop and stuff. But like the people that I wasn't friends with, they were into like different genres, rock and punk rock and country and shit like that. That's what made me want to branch off into different sounds because when I did my rap shit out there, they just really weren't like they weren't really into it.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think that having that versatility of having those different sounds, like you said, I mean, R&B and soul and the punk rock stuff and indie country and all of these different styles kind of influencing what you do you think that makes you sort of more able to, almost be a chameleon within the local music scene where you can now sort of fit in with all these different styles because you have that background?
Yeah, exactly. Like that was the plan. Like I want to be able to fit in everywhere that I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. With these future music shows, I mean, what does this kind of an event mean to you? I assume it's a way you can introduce yourself and your music to maybe a different audience or a bigger audience than you've had before. What does the opportunity mean to you as an artist?
To be honest, it was more like Ezo Man, he runs the thing. That's my man. Shout out to Ezo Man
Yeah,
and Creative Side Entertainment. They just I just kind of asked them what it was about and if I could just jump on it. Like I wasn't really sure what was going on, and it was like more of a versus type of thing. But I feel like the artist that he was putting on at the time was just like people that I hadn't really heard of, or it was more of just like introducing myself to them.
yeah, okay, okay. To the other artists who are on the bill.
Yeah.
So, for people who are hearing you for the first time, whether it's at that show or whether it's on this podcast, what's the best way to find your music? Where would you send someone if they wanted to check out what you're up to musically?
You could check me out at on Spotify at Nova Soul. Um, you could check me out on Instagram at Nova underscore Manitoba. You could check me out on SoundCloud as Nova/Winnipeg. Um, I got old stuff on Reverb is reverbnation.com/ Nova 100.
Okay, okay. And then as far as obviously this event that's happening at the Limelight, this is probably the next thing you have coming up. But after that, do you have any other big events or music releases or anything planned?
We're just kind of right now. We're working on like a kind of like a Soca Fest situation out in Thunder Bay,
Oh, cool.
because I got a lot of artists out there that I mess with out there, and a lot of Afrobeat and reggae style artists out there that they seen what we do here with the Soca Fest, and then in Toronto with the Caravana, and they
Yeah.
want to kind of create something like that out there.
Oh, that's cool. And Thunder Bay is close enough to Winnipeg, I guess. That I mean, there are lots of connections between the two communities anyway. So that makes sense.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. All right, so that introduce yourself and just give a bit of background about what it is you do as an artist.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my name is SincerelyT. I'm performing with Creative Side Entertainment on August 31st. I started in music when I was about, I'd say, 14 years old. You know, I fell in love with artists like G-Eazy, Wiz Khalifa, I would say, is a huge inspiration for me. Eminem, of course, Biggie, people like this. And I found that music was an outlet for me to just express how I was feeling at the time or tell stories. And I was always a creative person more than like a working kind of guy. You know, I was a really, really
Sure.
creative person in my head. So that's kind of where I gravitated in my life, and started at 13. And I just got better and better. I tell you what, I wasn't that person that when they started was really, really good. That's for sure. I was I was okay, and I kind of grew into the person that I am with the music, and I grew into the person that was really great at making songs and stuff like that. So yeah, to me, I want to be someone that someone can listen to the music and they feel not alone, you
Sure.
know, with whatever's going on in their life, and they can relate to the things I'm saying, basically. And yeah, that's basically who I am. Yeah.
Is that what drew you to hip hop? That kind of ability to tell stories like that and use music in that way?
Honestly, it was kind of a natural gravitation for me. Like I was saying, it just that's what I was always drawn to. It was kind of like it was built in me. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what you love to do, you know. Like, why does somebody get into skateboarding? You know, it's just they just love it. So yeah, I just loved it, and I got better at it, and I continued at it. And when you reach a point of when you can create a song all in one go and the song sounds good and other people like it, then it becomes a passion to someone,
Sure.
right? Because other people can enjoy it too, and you can go somewhere with it, and it's cool. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, I gravitated to it, really.
So, you know, with this event, the Future of Music event, there's obviously multiple rounds of it, lots of people participating. A lot of them have happened already. What does having this opportunity mean to you? You're presumably opening up to a different audience that maybe hasn't heard your music before. What does this? What does it mean to you as an artist?
Well, it means a lot, because I always love to express and see how many people I have by my side that will come out and support me, right? It's kind of like a reality check, because a lot of the times artists will get lost in their streams and get lost in whatever it might be, the hype of the moment, but you don't really know how many hard tickets you can sell. You know what
Sure.
I mean? And that's the important thing, is how many hard tickets can you sell? How many people are going to come to that show when you get up on that stage, right? Like that's the real support. Who wants to see you live, right? And feel your energy. So I think that it means a lot in terms of seeing, you know, how many people genuinely support me within the city, you know, and what kind of movement I'm creating, which is great. We've already sold a great amount of tickets, and I'm very, very happy with the support I've had so far. And yeah, so I'm really thankful for that, just to see where we're at in terms of, you know, my career and stuff. And it's kind of a checkup, you know, and I'm appreciative for that. And of course, I love performing, just love it. So
Right on.
yeah.
Well, and on top of that too, I mean, obviously, yes, you want to bring, you know, your own fans and people who already support you and already know your stuff, but you also have the opportunity, I guess, when you're there
Exactly.
to change minds and maybe,
Yeah.
you know, introduce what you do to a new group of people. So, what do you
Completely.
think it is that you sort of present that has the potential to do that? Like, what is it about your performance or your songwriting or your artistry that you think would, you know, potentially change someone's mind and make them think, hey, wait a minute, I came here to see so and so, but now this
Yeah.
has kind of turned my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's completely energy based, right? So when you get up on that stage, I feel like we all have a separate energy in terms of, you know, artist wise and everything like that.
Sure.
But the energy that I'm going to bring, and I've been practicing every single day. Whenever I do something, I do it at 120%, always, no matter what. So when I get up on that stage, the energy that I'm going to bring and the things that I have planned are going to be completely different from everyone else. So I really just think the energy that I'm going to bring will be enough to magnitude someone over to what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I think that they're going to be interested by the time I get off that stage. And, you know, even if they didn't, I know for a fact they're going to be able to say that was a good show. So, yeah.
Well, and that's all you can do, right? At that point, it's out of your
Exactly.
hands. So, you know, once
Yeah.
you do it, yeah. So, if people are hearing about you for the first time, what's the best way for them to find your music, to find out what you're doing as far as potentially future shows and things like that?
Definitely Instagram. It would be at the SincerelyT, at the SincerelyT. That's on Instagram. I have it in my bio, usually all my shows and all my new releases and stuff like that. But we're dropping tons of music, man. And we're going out to LA actually
Oh, wow.
September 28th. I'm going out to LA to remaster all of my songs. And we got some really, really great people that we're meeting up with, and it's going to be amazing. So you guys are going to see a lot on that. But best place to reach me would probably be Instagram.
How did how did that LA thing happen? I mean, that's a pretty big opportunity.
Yeah, it is. It is a pretty big thing. So, do you know who Aiden Ross is?
I know the name. I know the name.
Okay, yeah. So he's a really big Twitch streamer. He moved over to Kick recently, and he was doing a stream with a very popular guy, and it was one of his biggest streams yet. And there was about 130,000 live people watching.
Okay.
And he said, "Okay, I want to talk to some of the fans, this and that." So I joined in the Discord, and they dragged me into the call, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey, man, how are you? I got a proposal for you." He's like, "Okay, what's up?" I'm like, "Can you play my unreleased song? But there's a catch. If you like the song, you have to fly me out to Miami or wherever you are, and we film a music video." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, sure, let's do it." So everyone in the chat's like making fun of me at first, and then the
Yeah.
song starts to play, and they all love it. And Aiden was singing the song by the end of it. He was like, "This is incredible." He's like, "We're gonna get you out to the warehouse. We're gonna fly you out." So we're doing that, but first we need to go to LA to remaster all the songs and stuff like that. So we're remastering everything, and then we're probably going out to Miami after with the team to do that video and get everything in check. But we just got to solidify everything and make sure it's professional, make sure it sounds good, and do everything the right way. The artist in me, the creative side, wants me to just go, but
Yeah.
we all know there's a proper path to take, and you just got to slow your roll sometimes and relax your passion. So yeah, it's great, man. I can't. I'm gonna talk about that at the show too before I play the song that I showed Aiden and stuff. So that's gonna be great. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Aspects of hip hop who are participating in these competitions here. So I think the best way to start this off is if you want to introduce yourself and give a bit of background about what it is you do as an artist.
Well, I go by the name of Knathan, spelled Knathan. The K is silent. And as far as what I do with music, I would generally like to say my core basis is from pop music, but I take influences from other genres and incorporate that into the production, right? So whether that be a lot of hip hop influence or punk rock or just rock or alternative, I use those I guess genres to influence, like I said, the production styles, but the core of my music probably stems from, pop melodies and such.
Well, that's interesting. I think that that's kind of a typical thing in this day and age for artists too, because everything is so things feel like they're less divided as far as genre than they used to be. I mean, people have access to all the music that ever was released at the click of a button, right? So I mean, it's I think it's a lot more common for something like punk rock and hip hop and pop and all these things to blend together rather than just being isolated in little silos.
I 1000% agree. And I think, especially in the last like 10, 20 years, a lot of people growing up have had experiences with multiple genres of music that they pull from when they write or they're in the studio producing something.
Does that kind of nebulous sound you have with all those different aspects coming into it, does that make it more, is it easier for you as an artist to sort of find places to play or find people to be interested in your music because you have sort of different elements you're pulling together?
I definitely would say so. That generally, like, I guess because I have a little bit of versatility with that, definitely I can tailor a set list towards a specific, say, audience or venue or whatever, just because I do have that flexibility. And I guess I come from a background of playing guitar and musical instruments and stuff like that. So having that ability as well opens up, a lot more doors that wouldn't have been open if, say, you were just using backing tracks or something like that, right?
Totally. Yeah, that gives you opportunities to perform in maybe but the backing tracks thing is a good point for sure. And I guess it gives you versatility as far as songwriting too, having that background.
Yes, 1000%. And I guess, like, yeah, it also has its own challenges though, because I'm pulling from so many different genres. It makes it harder to define, say, what your sound is, or even on a more, I guess, a larger scale level would be finding like your audience or your fan base,
Sure.
I think it's tougher to build a core, I don't say a core fan base, but like a specific fan base if you're constantly providing different, we'll just say sonic vibes or whatever, right, throughout your music.
Well, yeah, and that maybe brings up another question. I mean, you're participating in this event, these Future Music Show. Do you think that this is going to potentially open you up to an audience that maybe hasn't heard your stuff before, or maybe even hasn't heard the type of music you're doing before?
I think, honestly, for the most part, I think this entire competition will provide a lot of people the first opportunity to really listen to my music or see me perform live. Like, there's, I think, 5 artists in this one or whatever. So there's going to be 4 other fan bases that theoretically should be showing up there that will get to experience that. And I'm hoping I can, convert some into some fans. Maybe not everyone, but there might be some other people if they enjoy so and so's type of music, they might, give mine a shot after hearing that.
Yeah, and I guess that's sort of one of the goals of this thing too, right? Is to sort of win over. I mean, people are bringing their own fan bases with them to the show, but you want to try and do something that's going to appeal to the other fans, and maybe they'll switch they'll want to hear more of what you're doing and want to support your music as well.
That is the goal. When I go on stage there, I'm going to be focused on, doing my best performance. But end of the day, it is a competition. And if I can, win some other fans over that, maybe by the end of the night, they'll actually be cheering for me. Who knows, right? That,
For sure.
I guess that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
So for people who, this is a podcast that's coming out before the event happens, but the good thing is someone could hear this 2 years from now or whatever, and maybe they're interested in your music. Then what's the best way to find your stuff online or find out about future shows you're doing and things like that?
Best way would be to follow either my socials or me on Spotify at KNATHANZ. I go by the name of Knathan, but my last name is Zayak, so we threw the Z in there for the social handles. But yeah, you can find it on YouTube, Spotify, any major streaming platform. But the best way to communicate or find out about future events would be through my Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, all at KNATHANZ.
Cool. And do you have any, at the time we're recording this, do you have any new music coming out in the near future?
Yes, I just dropped a single a couple days ago called Earls. That's featuring another Winnipeg artist called Tanner Braschuk. And I should be releasing a single called In the Dark with a music video coming up in potentially as early as September 10th. So
Cool.
Stay on the tune for that.
Right on.